The need for coffee is real.
When I never felt that, come on, yeah.
I've been seeing more and more people post about FOMO and how FOMO is very, very real when, they see invites for Zoom meetings and they don't get invited. And yeah, I know I spoke about FOMO in my last video, albeit in French, and I don't think I quite addressed specifically what to do to avoid FOMO during this very, very surreal and weird time. What people need to understand is that there isn't just one way to avoid it. And I'm going to be perfectly clear. I'm not a psychologist, okay? If you need to speak with a specialist, please do. Speak to your therapist, speak to your healthcare provider if this is causing more harm than good. So now that the disclaimer is out of the way, I can cover 3 things that you can do to deal with this very intense fear of missing out that is happening in this period of self-isolation. First of all, just being aware that you're feeling jealousy, anxiety, resentment, anger, being aware of it and knowing what brought it on is already a step in the right direction. But you've got to understand, people are living different realities during this very bizarre time. How certain people will deal with self-quarantining, self-isolation will be very different from others. And you're asking yourself, why am I not living that reality? Well, that's the thing. We think we are living the same reality, but we're not. It's a question of perception. Which brings me to the second point. Comparing is normal. But what are you comparing? Are you comparing citrus fruit or are you comparing a chicken and a mango? Comparisons are okay because they help us determine whether we are normal. Social comparisons help us determine if we fit within the norm, and then there's some people who don't care if they are not in the norm, and that's okay. And of course, who says there is a norm? And my norm, my sense of normalcy is definitely not the same as someone else's sense of normalcy. And considering that this crisis has created massive social and economical inequalities, that sense of normal definitely will vary from one person to another. Like Drake drops a new song and video in his mansion. Yeah, that's totally normal. That's totally normal. Definitely not my normal. I mean, I could start dancing in this video. It's not gonna blow up like the video that Drake did. So, in other words, comparing is normal, but you have to be mindful about what you're comparing yourself to. So, number 1, you're aware that you're feeling FOMO. Number 2, you understand that comparison is a natural thing to do, but you have to be mindful what you're comparing yourself to. Number 3, communicate. If you feel left out, talk about it. Talk about it either to the person who is directly affected by it. You feel that your friend has left you out of something. Talk to them. If that becomes too overwhelming or you don't know how to approach it, speak to someone else about it. Speak to someone else that, you might not know. Sometimes, in certain circumstances, just venting to someone you don't know can help. There are a lot of resources available. I'll add them. They're Canadian-based, Quebec-based, I'm aware, but there are a lot of resources that I will add in the description below. If you need to talk to someone who is a specialist, someone who can help you navigate through those feelings. But the final way, the fourth way to deal with FOMO, just tune out. We're spending a ridiculous amount of time on social media because there's nothing else to do. Or so we think. So just stepping away from social media for maybe, I don't know, 6 hours or less. Even like, you can't deal with being away for 6 hours. Diminish it. Do something else. Do something else. I took 6 hours as a random number, but sometimes it's necessary to step away. It's for your own good. Stop liking the same memes all the time. Like, how many people just recycled the same meme? How many photo challenges am I going to do in one day? But just step away, take a break. Some people meditate. Meditation's not for me. Some people exercise. Some people bake. Some people do something else. But just step away from what is causing that distress. So hopefully that helps.